All right. So happy to have you
Hi
on.
guys.
I'll let you introduce yourself first. Go with that first. Go right ahead. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Some of you may know me. My name's Josephine Guilbeau. I am a 17-year Army veteran who is basically on this awakening journey right now with so many of you guys as well to the reality that the American empire is and has been the cause of a lot of death and destruction. And so, yeah, I'm on this journey just trying to use my experience, voice, and military service to do the right thing.
Yeah, here's my first. You worked military intelligence. That is huge. How do you become a military intelligence officer?
Well, you have to pretty much have an almost perfect record in life because you, that's so funny that I've never done this, but I just made a TikTok, this past week to be able to do this with you. So it's so funny to see some
Yep.
of the features. But there is a 10-year plus security background check that is done where there are actually like investigators that go and interview family members, friends, like they ask them for another contact, and it takes about a year before you're granted a security clearance. And yeah, so I, went through that process and had a pretty, clean record, never got in trouble, had good grades. So I,
Yeah, I could imagine when I heard you a military intel. I was like, "Damn, that's that's pretty high. That's extremely impressive." The first time I think most of us have seen you, you blew up pretty big on social media after, and God bless him, Aaron Bushnell. After that incident with Aaron Bushnell, you're going to be getting those a lot. All right, yeah, all right.
oh my God,
So
this is fun. I
yeah.
needed this.
With Aaron Bushnell, you had a very passionate speech and everything after Aaron Bushnell. Would you like to mention, like, because that hit everybody really hard? I even went to the site. Well, I went to Washington, D.C. on a
Really?
trip, and I went to the site where he sadly self immolated. And I mean, that touched everybody's heart. But would you, would you like
Yeah,
to talk about that?
it's a sensitive subject, but it's incredibly difficult to talk about that because this is really cracking me up. I'm sorry, and I really needed a laugh. I think we all do, but yeah. So, uh, um, something happened to me before a few weeks before Aaron Bushnell self-immolated, where I kind of just like had enough. I put my uniform on. Oh, I like that one. I put my uniform on and I went to do Congress Days with Code Pink. Something like had popped up in my feed that they were doing, Congress Days where you can sign up online. And so I did. And I just drove from Ohio. And for a few weeks, I had been learning how to lobby with Code Pink. And then I went back home to Ohio. And that's when, the next thing that happened was Aaron Bushnell self-immolated. And obviously, I felt so connected to that because as someone who was processing everything that I was witnessing, the genocide, and at the same time processing the reality of what I myself had been a part of, if you will, like things I had done in my military service. I understood how much pain he was in, and the emotional pain and suffering that his soul was dealing with because I was in that pain too. And there were so many times that I felt like I can't live in this world. So I understood how he had gotten to that point. And so I knew that I needed to pay my respects for him, as a sister, his sister in arms. And so I went there in uniform, and I expected there to be a lot more military people, if I'm being honest with you, and there wasn't. And it was really an emotional time for me. It was probably the first time that I had let my emotions go. And so you could see in the interview, I actually had just been crying in public. And yeah, I just spoke from the heart of what I really had just realized. And that was that myself and Aaron and all these military people that I know and loved were just pawns for the rich. It was quite the it's been quite the awakening journey, we'll say.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm very, very sad to see exactly. That's one of the common accusations against government throughout history. It's like the people who start the wars, they don't fight them. Their children don't fight it, or nothing like that. And in this case, right here, it's like, yeah, pawns for somebody else's wars, but it's not even just the rich people. It's like pawns for foreign countries too.
Yeah.
And because a lot of the stuff that we're involved, we have nothing to do. It does not benefit us at all. There is no selfish interest in some of these things. We are honestly working on behalf of somebody else, and their reasoning is suspect too. Yeah, that's like the panda bear. Yeah, people love sending you gifts too.
I
Apparently,
love
that
it.
is great.
That is so
Yeah. All right. So there's some people who wanted to ask quick questions. Guys, remember too, if you have any questions, limit yourself to one question, and please keep it in a short question. AJ, you had something to ask really quick, buddy. Go ahead, bud.
Oh, yeah, yes. I'd like to address all the atrocities happening to females in West Point who are trying to get to your level, who are being abused by their superior officers, and they're being booted out for being females because of the harassment. What do you have to say about that?
Honestly, you know, I understand what they're going through. In 2000 and I believe 16, I was selected as a second lieutenant to be the first female in a Italian infantry battalion. And that was shortly after they passed those laws that said females can be in combat MOSs. I don't know if you guys remember, it was like all over the news that now females could be on the front line. Well, a part of the regulations of that was there had to be 2 senior females inside of these units in order for lower ranking females to be put into these positions. And I was selected as an officer to be one of the senior ranking females. And for the first 8 months, I didn't even go to formation because the attitude towards me, just even as a female existing inside of this unit that had been all male for since the onset of it, since the beginning of time, it was a difficult transition for me as a female. And I spent a lot of time in my office or just amongst other officers for meetings, so I understand there's a lot behind the treatment of females in the military for sure. But I also understand that it takes a lot of courage for females to stand up for themselves. And so I'm hoping that at the very least, if anybody there is listening to me, that they have the courage to stand up for themselves, to find another female leader that they can go to. It's so important to be able to do that. And even if they're not in their chain of command. And don't stop. It's been a year of a genocide that I've been screaming and screaming, and I'm not going to stop screaming. So I encourage everybody else, just have the moral courage to keep standing up for yourself.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you, AJ, for the question too. I think, all right, who was next here? All right, Shadow Bananas, Elvish, and Steve-O. What's up, Steve-O, buddy? Shadow Bananas, do you have a question, my friend? Thank you for swinging by, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and I'm so honored to be able to ask you a question, my lady, Madame, sorry, Captain, right?
Yes, or Josie.
Rosie? Awesome.
Yeah, that's what my friends go by, and I feel like this platform and this vibe, we're all friends, and so you can definitely call me Josie.
Well, honestly, Josie, the best thing about being with E is that he keeps a zombie-free zone. It's nothing but good vibes, and we're all vibrational beings. So it's very important that we all are all vibing, right?
I
And it's
love
funny
it.
that you said you and your friends, because that's actually where my question comes to. Because I have a few friends that are in military myself, Canadian military, mind you. But I know that the military people are very fun to party with, first and foremost, but also they're a very tight knit community. Are you finding that since you've been speaking out, have you been getting a lot of pushback from people that you love?
Um, yeah, I have actually. I would say that it's probably less of the military community and more of just like like family members or friends. There are a lot of former colleagues of mine that are still active duty, some in the Pentagon, some that recently got out. My former brigade commander that just recently retired, he totally supports me. We talk at least once a month, maybe every other month, about what's going on. He is still super protective over me. I was his intelligence officer. And, when the IDF started attacking the encampments in California at UCLA, he was really worried about that and was like, if something happens to you, you let me know, because he understands that there's a foreign invader of our country right now. So from the aspect of military, I would actually say that I have a pretty good support system of, veterans and still active duty military that wish they could do more, wish they could say more. And I'm hoping that it gets to a point where they do start saying more.
Well, I think they're very blessed to have somebody like you as their spokesperson and to spread awareness. Thank you so much,
Thank
Josie.
you.
Thank you, Shadow. Uh, Josephine, is there like, all right, there's obviously a lot of influence on our politicians from like Israel and stuff like, is there also influence within the military? Like to be pro-Israel and stuff like that too?
Um, no, honestly, I would say it's not about like necessarily being pro-Israel as much as the programming exists of them being like a military alliance, a strategic alliance. There's this brainwashing that exists that countries like Iran want to destroy America. And so you have people in the military that not only are brainwashed by that, but are also brainwashed with, Islamophobia through 9/11. And if you ever watched one of the documentaries that I did, The Awakening, it's on YouTube, I talk about going through basic training where in our simulations, it's people that are Arab in, like everything we're learning is to exterminate people who look like that, who are terrorists. So you have this level of brainwashing of what terrorists looks like, and it's an Arab from the Middle East, because that's what we're told, that's what we're taught. And so it's not so much that it's like pro-Israel, pro-Zionist, as much as it's like anti-terror and Iran's gonna kill America and bomb America, and we have to get ahead of it by supporting our ally. That's more or less the types of conversations versus like actually saying pro-Israel.
Yeah, yeah. Influences through the subtle. We talk about that on our show. Intentionally mislabeling groups of people to affect perception on them.
Yeah.
Peace, thank you so much. Yeah, so that's a lot what we talk about too. Just like yeah, that's a big conversation too. Yeah, thank you for explaining that. Now, let me see. I think our next guest, the next person who had a question was Pally for Life. Is that correct, moderators? Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, moderators. Pally for Life.
Yes, thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of nervous because I'm like so excited to talk to you. Like I seen you on those videos, and like I never been so happy in my life to seeing people like you stand up for us. I want to first say thank you for your service, obviously, and I'm from the West Bank. I went there as a kid and didn't know anything about it, so I had to witness the stuff of what's going on, and I had to learn the hard way. And ever since I left and came back to America, my job was to always keep my voice heard and always keep talking about this. Whatever is wrong is wrong.
Yes.
As a people, as a human, as a people, we should know what's going on and this is wrong. It should not be happening in our lifetime. So you talking for us, you speaking for us, it does a lot because you are a 17-year veteran. You're like you're not someone that people are gonna ignore. Your words matter to us. And I just want to say I didn't have a question. I just want to say thank you so much. I love you so much. I'm
Thank
really happy
you.
for you.
I love
I
you
do send
too.
prayers for you, and like I said, thank you so much.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I didn't really know about the Palestinian cause before, October 7th. If I'm being honest with you, I was brainwashed as well, but it doesn't I don't need to know. I didn't need to know about it to do the right thing, and I didn't need to know about it to speak up for you guys. It's clear that you're oppressed and your people are vulnerable to what is happening, and every single human being needs to always speak up for those that are vulnerable. So, thank you for your words, and I love you guys too. I feel like I'm Palestinian. I identify as Palestinian now.
You're always welcome. I have a house there. You're always welcome to come over. You got a house waiting for you.
Thank
You're always
you.
welcome.
One day I will. I don't know if they'd let me in right now, but I'm telling you, one day I'm definitely going to Palestine and Gaza. I will be there. Guarantee, guarantee it. Guarantee it.
That sounds
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's one thing we're always saying is that after this is all over and done, is that everyone who helped out trying to free Palestine, and once it's actually free, it's going to be the number one tourist attraction in the world.
I'm
I
going
mean,
to hug every single possible baby that I can. I cannot wait to get my arms around all those babies in Gaza. I have so much love to give, and I'm going to give it for sure.
yes, yeah, the Great Awakening, guys. More people have woken up in the past year than the past 30 years combined. It is the Great Awakening, and it's so great that everyone's susceptible to listening. So yeah, it's absolutely great. I started. To me, it was a slow process. Like just reading books. I was like, oh man, the media's been lying to us for so long. All right, Jennifer, my moderator, had a question for you. Yes, Jennifer. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Hi, Eric. Josephine, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. And thank you for all of your work that you have been doing, advocating for Palestine and spreading the truth. And I've seen so many videos of you in them, and it's an honor to have you with us. You kind of answered my question. I was wondering, how did you feel prior to October 7th? And you've kind of put that out there, and that's for a lot of us. A lot of us, I had no knowledge until after. And the more and more I learned and saw these videos and then started learning of the history, it was a hard adjustment being always taking pride of being an American, and having to realize how much I was brainwashed and how much I had to work through. So how are you navigating now your life with putting yourself out there like this?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I've gotten into like too deep of conversation with many people about this part of me. I think I probably touch on it here and there. But I feel like this is a good platform to do that with you guys. But I actually am a very like deep spirited and faithful person in God. I pray a lot. I really relate a lot to Palestinians in that sense that I have a very full awareness of the reality that there is more to what we can see, and there is more to eternal life than what is here. And so how I navigate what I'm doing is that I always ask God or my creator or Allah. I ask, what to do, and I wait for him to tell me and give me the answer. And then I discernment is really important, making sure that the answer that you're hearing is what is the right thing to do, and then I do it. And so I know that, I can go to sleep at night very comfortably with everything that I'm doing, even though I've received death threats from, the IDF, and all of these, my tires have been slashed, my car has been broken into, I've been interrogated by
What? I didn't know about all this. No
I don't
kidding.
usually tell people, but I've been interrogated by the Mossad on an airplane. And it doesn't bother me, honestly, because I know if they want to do something to me, it doesn't scare me. And I know that this life isn't the end, and I'm doing the right thing. And so as long as I know that in my heart, then, my life really hasn't changed much from a emotional point of like my work. The biggest change is honestly witnessing the genocide. It's something that I made a commitment to do every day, is to witness what is happening in Gaza. And, not a lot of people can do that, have the mental agility to do that, because it's really, horrific. But it's something that I'm committed to doing because it helps drive my, empathy and desire to stop it. So yeah, my life hasn't really changed much from that aspect, though, because I've always been a really faithful woman.
Wow, I can't believe Mossad actually approached you like that. Did you have an avenue where you could report that to your own government
I
and
don't trust
report
them.
that a foreign intelligence agency just actually approached you and grilled you? Because that's highly inappropriate.
I, I reported it to the contacts that I have at Eisenhower Media Network, which is also former FBI, CIA, and retired military at Eisenhower Media Network. That's where I work now. And I'm a fellow there because I don't trust reporting it to my government. So what are they going to do for me?
Uh,
They're probably going to
yeah,
help them.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't, as long as I documented it and reported it to, my colleagues, that for me was enough, because my government's not going to do anything about it. So, and it
And
doesn't,
that's sad. That's so
well, that's
sad
the
that
reality we live in now.
you knowing that is in a form itself of deterrent. Like yeah, why report when they're not going to do a damn thing about it? And
No.
of course, everybody, yeah, Mossad, if for any foreign intelligence agents should not, especially if they're an ally, should not be approaching and trying to influence our intelligence agents
Just
very
when you
much.
can't be shocked by something else happens and you're like, wow, they are really desperate. You know what that tells me, though, Eric? That the level of desperation that exists inside of our Congress, Senate, and even the elite, the level of desperation that exists to try and win the information war that exists because they're losing, it's apparent. Like, they're sanctioning the International Criminal Court. Like,
Yes, that just happened when they vote on that like 2 days ago.
well, the
Yeah,
House passed it 20. I think it was 240 to like 140 or so, I don't remember, but it was an overwhelming amount. But now it has to go to the Senate. I have a lot of colleagues that think it's not going to make it through the Senate, but once again,
uh,
I'm not surprised by anything anymore. So, and to me, no one cares. Do you think that the prosecutor cares? He doesn't care.
no,
He doesn't
it's
care.
mostly
Sanction him. He
symbolic, but
doesn't care.
yeah, it's mostly symbolic for America to do that, but still through symbolism has influence too. So it's going to go through Chuck Schumer's Senate, huh? Oh, that's freaking
Yep.
great. All right. Yeah, I am Israel High, Chuck Schumer. Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thoroughly penetrated Congress. All right. Who's the next person who wanted to speak? I think
And
teacher.
Eric, yeah,
Yes,
NY
Jennifer.
and teachers both want to ask her a
Oh,
question.
okay.
Both of
So
you want.
NY, I think NY's been waiting the longest. So let me go to NY, then teachers, then Gold Seal, then Janeth. So NY, Pally, go right ahead, NY, Pally.
Hey, Josephine. Now, hold on. I am so nervous. I always watch you. I have a lot of love for you. And one thing that I did see my entire childhood growing up, was a lot of, racism towards Muslims, especially Palestinian Muslims. And, you know, I was always so used to getting that from people who didn't understand our culture. And so to me, seeing you, a veteran, standing up for my people and doing it with all your might and standing up against men, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. As I said, I'm a little shaky. I've been excited to talk to you. So thank you with all my heart. I appreciate you. Just one question. Do you get, like, are you still in touch with anyone from the Army that knows about this subject or that would agree with you on this cause?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm still in touch with active duty people that work at the Pentagon right now. That, you know, if I'm being honest with you, a lot of these people feel like they're hoping that Trump can, you know, make a difference the next 4 years with what's going on. Recently, with everything he's been announcing, I think there's a level of people that inside of the Pentagon that are becoming a little bit uncomfortable with him threatening like military force to take Greenland or the Panama Canal, because 80 million people voted for him because of his anti-war policy, and now obviously that was a lie. I think it's just his level of desperation because our empire is falling. But there are a lot of people that are active duty right now that know the truth, that know that what is happening right now is wrong. And, you know, when they passed that legislation that allowed the Israeli soldiers to get similar benefits as our own military personnel here, that really, you know, struck a lot of military and veterans in a different way, because we're using American tax dollars to provide benefits to a foreign nation's military. And so,
I'm sorry.
yeah, so these, you know, all of these little things that keep happening are waking up more and more people that are active duty. And yeah, they, you know, think what's happening is absolutely horrible.
And this is one thing also with our veterans. And when I talk to people who were in the Army, or, you know, just asking them, like, if they just sent every penny that they sent to them over there and put it in for the veterans, the homeless veterans in this country, in our country, make it stronger, make it better. You know, you guys fight for everyone's freedom here. But that's all I have to say. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I'm a little
Yeah,
nervous.
I agree with you. No, that's a part of this fight. That's a part of this liberation. It's, you know, it's starting with Palestine, and thank God for, you know, the brave souls in Gaza that are liberating our country as well. Because, you know, for decades we've been giving our money to other countries, to unproductive wars that, you know, we go there and we're lied about why we're there. And, you know, we're all realizing that now. Many of us are. It's not just me. There are many of us that are. I'm hoping that everything that you're watching me do is giving others the moral courage and inspiration to do it as well. Because I think if we all do this collectively, we really could make a difference. But you're right, that money that we're sending to all these wars, it's not sustainable, because look at what's going on in America. 44 million people live in poverty. I mean, an 18% increase in homelessness. There's like 700,000 people that are homeless. 27 million people don't have health insurance here. And so it's just not sustainable. And yeah, you're right. I mean, we need to keep our money here to support our citizens here. And by default, it'll result in us not going overseas and killing innocent people.
Thank you so much, Josephine. I love you. A lot of Palestinians love you. We appreciate you. We see you, and just keep going.
Thank you. I see you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, Joe Biden's leaving. Joe Biden is leaving the White House on a big giant spending spree, not in America, but to Ukraine and Israel. And what's crazy too is I mean, with a big giant spending spree, he's not even trying to like target his own constituents, the people that normally vote for his base. Free up college debt or something to do with homeless or the substance abuse problem. Not a damn thing. But I've lost track. It's like every 3 days, it's a new package for Ukraine. And
Yeah.
it's. But the
Or
more
Israel.
obvious, yeah, the more obvious and ridiculous they are, the more it wakes people up for real. So it's just like now no one can call it a conspiracy, no one can call it anything. It's like, wow, they're really doing that right in front of our
Yeah,
face.
especially with the fact that there are still people in North Carolina that, it's all over the news right now. Their vouchers are running out for hotels and they have nowhere to go. And then now you have California on fire and thousands of people are losing absolutely everything. Yet in the midst of this, we're sending more money overseas, knowing that we're, funding a genocide. It's absolutely unreal. And there are so many people on the right that are waking up. I mean, Eric, it's really beyond time, but thank God it's finally happening that, the conservative side is starting to realize the truth.
yes, 1000%. Thank you very much. Thank you, NY Pally. Magic, you're next. Teachers, go right ahead.
Hi, Josephine. It's an honor to speak with you, and thank you so much for your resilience and bravery for protesting against people that are really trying to paint this narrative that isn't true. And I think it's really important for individuals that are listening that may be wanting to join the military or maybe the Air Force or that type of service to see women like you who are standing up and standing against these atrocities that are being committed in Palestine. I don't think that people are letting it sink in enough, and all of us are, but there are many people outside when I do protest that I see that are just going about their day and not really taking it all in. So these conversations are very, very important. Just to give you a background about myself, I am a teacher of 6 years. I teach for the New York City Department of Education, and my question to you is, as both a teacher and someone, and for you who has served in the military, like, we both have a responsibility to stand up for justice. So what advice would you give to others, especially educators in those positions of influence like yourself, about how to take action or amplify voices for, Palestine?
Well, I will tell you, in the past 2 weeks, or even past week or so, there are 4 states that have decided to invest in the Department of Education funds into Israeli bonds. In Louisiana, they agreed to send another $10 million from the education funds. Now, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of people here
Yes.
might not know what I'm talking about, but each state has a pocket of money for education funds. Well, Israel recently has been sending a delegation across our country, meeting with governors to convince them to take money from the Department of Education and invest it in Israeli bonds, which, as you know, there's no their GDP is failing, their economy is failing. There's not going to be a whole lot of return on investment. In fact, they might actually lose money. So my suggestion to you as a teacher, especially, is to connect with a teachers union. I actually messaged the teachers union about this situation specifically because just in Louisiana, a total of $4 million have now went to Israel. And I think it's so important that as teachers, you protect our education funds for our students. We're already inside of America struggling so much. I mean, almost every year for the past 10 years, I have adopted a teacher with an Amazon wish list. I mean, I can't imagine that our teachers don't get any funding for their classrooms. I have to adopt a teacher to get her the supplies she needs for a classroom. And now they're taking that money and sending it to Israel. So I think at this moment, the most important thing is to not let that expand any further. And if you can get teachers together to reach out to teachers unions to stand against our governors using our education funds to send to Israel, that would be really impactful.
And I want to let you know that we are very heavily suppressed in the education system. We aren't allowed to talk about Palestine. We aren't allowed to show any type of solidarity or grievance for the Palestinian people, which I find infuriating and insane because there are so many Palestinian American students, Palestinian American citizens that have businesses, have children, pay taxes. So it's like almost as if they don't matter, or their feelings or their families are invisible, which is insane to me. But we
It's
aren't
going to
allowed.
take you guys collectively to do it so that they can't punish everyone. And if they do, sounds like a lawsuit, but it really takes just this collective decision. And that's why I say go through the teachers unions, because the unions are not directly connected with, the state. And so that's why I'm saying there's a possibility if you can get enough teachers together to approach it from there and then have them on your side when you approach, the education system, that might give you, the backing that you need.
That's what we're doing. We're working together and building a network to push back on this. And I'll tell you, even in the first day of school, the UFT gave an option to do a PD for Israel and their presence in America and their influence in America. So and the like I guess the person that funded that PD was a Zionist organization for education and Jewish studies. So I just find it to be so insensitive that there are so many Palestinian Americans that are being unalived and there is no type of PD on that. And the only comment I did want to say is what made me really truly know the truth is when I saw the NATO summit in Chicago, when those soldiers denounced their medals because they said that the weapons of mass destruction in the Afghanistan and Iraq was all a lie. And so from there on out, to see more veterans like yourself speak up and really say no, like this is not okay. This is not what we stand for. They're giving a bad name for people that are in the army and the veterans.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I also want to give my space to a Palestinian that has any questions or anything like that, or anyone that has questions. But thank you so much, Josephine.
Thank you.
Thank you, Magic. All right. I believe Gold Seal's next, then Janet. Gold Seal, go right ahead. Thank you for your patience, Gold Seal.
Thank you very much for letting me speak. Hi, Josephine. How are you?
Hi, thank you.
I was crying literally. That's why maybe my voice is so sore. I asked Jennifer to go ahead with somebody else. When I saw you, I was like, my heart was filled. God bless you. God bless you.
Oh, you're going to make me cry. You guys are pulling my emotions out.
Don't do that. You're my son's age, so that adds up. So I just have one question. If you can tell us about the device. Remember last year you made a video that said that because of the body warmth, the Israel has technology that they can know in which house, how many men and how many women and children, and then they wait for the man of the house to come in, and then they there you go. They just boom the entire house.
I don't even know if they're actually waiting for.
No. Remember the video? That was the first.
I know, but I'm saying, like, from a strategic perspective, I don't know if they're actually waiting for the man of the house to enter. I think they're just bombing.
I believe it too. What was that?
Yeah, what I talked about was, I'm not going to like necessarily get into all the details because I don't know the classification of this, but if you do a simple Google search, you can see that, technology exists, that there's, thermal cameras where you can see like the board. Okay, I can use this example because this is unclassified. The Border Patrol inside along the border of Mexico has devices that they use in order to track any mules, which is someone that crosses the border to bring drugs, or just illegal immigrants that are crossing the border. And it's a satellite system, and the way that it works, it connects back to a screen in front of a Border Patrol agent, and they're able to identify even like a rabbit based on the thermal energy that it emits. So they can even watch little rabbits hopping around because of the heat that they emit. And so it's a similar concept inside of like brick buildings don't stop this type of technology from being able to see you know, the thermal energy of a human body inside, and then you can also see, as I just said, you can see if it's a rabbit. So of course you can see if it's a child, and so they have the technology and ability to be able to see from that perspective who's inside and how many people are inside of these homes.
Yes, it's so hard sometimes to explain some people, and they say that they don't do that on purpose. And I told them there are devices. Like after watching your video, I try to convince people that they do it on purpose. Like now, I read the whole world knows, but then it was so hard to tell people like they do it on purpose. They'd say no, it's a war. They don't do it on purpose. You know, in war things happen. But I hope even now they are seeing, like my close neighbors. So it's so sad that they didn't believe it then. But do you think the
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are going to have to live with the fact that they, you know, even my own family, when this first started, I went to visit my family in Louisiana, and this was around Thanksgiving 2023. So this is like a month and a half into this. And I'm trying to tell them about what's going on at a restaurant. And my entire family was sitting there at this long table filled with my family. And my sister said, like, was trying to say that there were actors and it wasn't real and it was a conspiracy theory, because she was just in her moment and journey still brainwashed to, you know, this programming that we all receive here in America. And she said to me, she's like, why don't you try and tell the world then? I said, that's what I'm trying to do. And I stood up at the table and said to the restaurant, I was like, excuse me, everyone, excuse me. There is a genocide happening. My whole family was like, oh my God.
God bless you so much. Believe me, that's from the bottom of my heart, girl. Like God bless you. You will see that in your life. God bless you.
I pray.
Do you think the protests and our rallies and those big huge protests is helping?
Oh, absolutely. You know, there are a lot of things that come out of unrest inside of a country. You know, think about what you think of when you see things happening in other countries. Like when people are protesting in other countries, it makes us feel like, okay, they're rising up against this corruption. Well, other countries are watching us do this too. And so it makes them understand that this isn't the American people. This is the American government. It's not our country as a whole that supports what we're witnessing. They're seeing that, you know, millions of Americans are against what's going on right now. It's not the people, it's the government. And that helps leaders in other countries make decisions for how they want to act. I mean, look at BRICS. A lot of these countries are choosing to, you know, like isolate America and join BRICS, which, if you don't know what BRICS is, it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, for anybody else that doesn't know. It's basically the new world power. And a lot of countries are feeling that they're able to join BRICS because they understand that our empire is falling. They understand that the American people are unhappy, understanding that their country is corrupt, and it helps them make the decisions to, you know, disconnect their alliances from us. So protesting is very, very important because that's what the rest of the world is seeing inside of our country.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Let's give my space to somebody else. Thank you so much, Eric, and God bless you again.
God bless you too.
Thank you, Gold Seal, Cam and Rhodey. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, we're constantly stressing that don't blame the people, blame the government. And sadly, Muslims already know this because there's a lot of Arab Muslim leaders like in Egypt, in Jordan, in Saudi Arabia, where the leaders do not represent the people, but go in exact opposite direction of the best interest of the people, just like in America. So we sadly know that it's not even just America. There's a lot of countries where they're disloyal to their own people that they're supposed to represent. Asina and Rhodey, thank you again. All right, now Janeth is next after Janeth, Dogman, and Dr. Rowe. Janeth, go right ahead. Thank you for your patience, Janeth. Hello, Janeth. I'll do microphone request to you. Microphone request, Janeth. If not, we'll go right back to her. All right, let me go to Dogman. Dog man, what's up, buddy?
Yo, what's up, man? What's going on? How are you doing?
I'm
Yo, can
good.
you hear me? Yeah, yes,
Yes, I'm good. How are
Josephine.
you?
I'm okay. I just wanted to say, yeah, wait, 1 second. I just want to send my love from the UK, yeah, over to America, yeah. Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
service to humanity, yeah. Because let me tell you something now, yeah. We are behind you 100%, yeah. We see what's going on, yeah, in America. It's twisted. Everything has gone upside down in the last. Well, it's been going on for a long time, but it's been uncovered in the last couple of years, especially since October the 7th. And I just want to say that people like yourself, yeah, are advocating for us, yeah, the people who haven't had a voice for so long, yeah. So I appreciate you, and I just want to uh, give you the biggest amount of respect, and send the biggest
Thank
amount
you.
of love to you, you know, because end of the day now, yeah, the veil is falling, the evil empire is falling, you know, times are changing, and all these people who on this live right now, yeah, we are the awakened, sorry, yeah, you with me? But yeah,
We are.
I just wanted to say to you that thank you, you know, for standing out
Thank
there,
you.
going to Congress, and putting yourself out there. So big respects, and yeah, end of the day, we ain't stopping, are we, Eric? It's not gonna happen.
Hell
No,
no.
I still have a
We're
ton of
here.
energy left, dog man.
Yes, you know
I got a few more
that.
things up my sleeve that you guys are gonna see here real soon.
Yeah, well, I'm be watching. Yeah, I'm there with you, alongside you in spirit. Trust me. Yeah.
Thank you.
God bless. Well, that's
God
me
bless
for now,
you.
yeah. I don't speak long because if I speak too much, you'll be falling asleep. But yeah, I love you, yeah. God bless
Thank you.
everybody. One love, yeah.
Dog man, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, brother. God bless.
As far as guests from Gaza, as we usually do, guys. Sorry, we kind of tripped over that a little bit with the special guest. So we will be doing the guest from Gaza thing too on the side. Sorry about that, guys. All right, I think I'm at where am I? World Peace and Geo. Thank you so much. Got everybody. Mazin is from Gaza. If anybody wanted to donate to him, go ahead and donate to him. He's our special friend. Dr. Rowe. Dr. Rowe, what's up, my friend? Welcome back. Go right ahead, buddy.
Oh, hey Eric, how you doing? Thank you for having me, and thank you for having this lovely show. Thank you, Maud and Jennifer and NY and Shaban and everyone. Good to be here. I also wanna, before I even address Captain Josephine, I wanna also acknowledge Ro, who's a military veteran. It's good to be on this panel. She's a staunch Palestinian, supporter. It's really good to be on this panel. Having said that, let me just say it's an honor to be addressing Captain Josephine. It really is. Captain, thank you for what you do. You're a staunch supporter of the Palestinian people. I've been watching your videos, and we've talked in the past when you were marching across New York to the UN. Um, but I just want to let you know that you are a freaking American hero. Um,
We all are, guys. We all are.
you really are. And we have so much respect for you. And you have the courage of 1,000 men. I will say this. I have served in my younger days in the United States Armed Forces. I was younger. I was a lot more physically fit. And I will say, and I will just want to ask you in regards to Brian Mast and the people who are running these agencies. So we have the Foreign Agent Registration Act. And when any one of us joins the military, or even as a civilian in an agency, any federal agency, you have to go through the you have to go through the counterintelligence background check. So I just want to ask you, as somebody who has served for 17 years and have been working in prominent agencies, how does that work? Was people like Brian Mast and individuals who are running our agencies? I mean, I think Eric has the most amazing visual of the people who run our agencies, and they're all blueberries, and they all have dual citizenship. And typically, if you are serving in the armed forces, or at least in the federal government, you're not allowed to have dual citizenship, as far as I know, or at least you have to disclose that.
Yes.
So, do you want to shed some light onto that?
Yes. So, like the way the process works, it really depends on your clearance level, in the intelligence community at least. And there's something called SCI, secret compartmentalized information, and that's just like another level of clearance. And really what happens is based on the specific like assignment that you're working on, you may or may not be able to even be like a second generation from China or a second generation from Russia. Like there are a lot of, red tape around a lot of these assignments in order to protect the information. And one thing I will say when it comes to Israel is what really surprised me about this awakening that I'm having of how intertwined Israel is into our country is that we are told as intelligence officers that the number one country that is going to spy on us is Israel. And that is who we have to be very careful about.
Wow. No kidding?
Yes,
Interesting.
I worked at NSA for 5 years, and at their main campus in Maryland is a mall. There's a mall there, and it is full of Mossad agents, and we are told that. So I don't know. It's like twofold, where we know they're spying on us, and at the same time, we have people that seem to be their agents anyway. They're, I guess there you go. They're spying on us. So they've infiltrated our government. They've infiltrated our military. They've infiltrated our infrastructure. I mean, they're everywhere. We're occupied by these elite people.
Dang. Wow. Dr. Rowe, that was an awesome question. Just so you know, on TikTok, there's certain words we're not really allowed to. So when you hear people say blueberry or zombie, that's our code talk for the Zios. So,
Okay.
yeah. And just so you also know that part of a feature of our show is what we usually do is we have people actually from Gaza. They come up and sit on our panel, like the bottom two guests on the screen. And they collect charity just because it's like their only source of income. They have nothing over there. So, guys, if anybody wants to donate to anybody in Gaza, they're our bottom two guests. So I'll thank you on their behalf. And right now, the next guest to speak, I believe, is the person that just dropped. Nadia would be next then. All right, Nadia, my friend Nadia. Hello, Nadia.
Hi, Eric. Hi, Captain Josephine. Thank you so much for being on the live. We appreciate you. My dad was Army and my uncle was Air Force, so I definitely appreciate your service. And I worked as a nurse at Fort Meade in Maryland. So
That's where the
yep,
NSA is.
yep.
I was stationed there for quite some time.
It's a beautiful campus. It's very pretty. My question is a little bit simpler, but hopefully interesting for everyone here. We have a lot of these conversations with each other where we're on board with each other, we're supportive of one another, and we're activists essentially, we're educators essentially. How do we get ordinary Americans on board that are just really not informed? They're not like mean-spirited, they're just like not well informed.
Yeah, I think honestly, those are conversations that I'm having all the time with, I feel like I'm in a think tank every day trying to have a conversation of how do we get, the average American citizen into action, basically into action, any action, share a post, call a congressman, show up to a protest. And honestly, Nadia, I think the conditions aren't right for it. The conditions become right, unfortunately, when things happen like in North Carolina and an entire state or multiple states are witnessing that our country is doing nothing to help them, or the conditions get set when the entire, like, Los Angeles is on fire, yet we're still sending money to Israel. I'm watching in real time so many people waking up, connecting these fires to Gaza. For the first time, they're saying something. For the first time, they're finally sharing something. So unfortunately, here in America, people are just running on that hamster wheel, hustling, trying to make ends meet month to month. It's very difficult for them to have the capacity to understand this situation that's unfolding. But when it hits home is when they wake up. And so we're really watching that happen right now because of the fires. And so I even share this in some of my groups on Instagram. I have several groups that have several hundred people, and I say always try and connect what's happening here back to Gaza, because this is how we wake up the American people.
Nadia, thank you so much. Appreciate you, Nadia. Majid, thank you so much for gifting. Guys, our bottom two guests are from Gaza. If you wish to donate some, I'll thank you on their behalf. Gunnar, my friend, you'd be next. Gunnar, are you there, my friend? His panel is lit off. Are you there, Gunnar, buddy? Yep, there you are. Hello, buddy.
Hey,
What up? Go
I'm
right
here.
ahead.
Hello. First and foremost, Eric, thank you for done everything that you do. I just saw your latest video on Judge Galloway. Absolutely disgusting of Judge Galloway what he was doing. So thank you for reporting that, because I wouldn't find out any other way. So thank you, my brother. Captain
I gotta
Josephine.
say, he did backtrack on that like 2 days
Okay.
later. George Galloway is back on our side. It is like, I guess, a day of frustration and disappointment, and he kind of jumped out the window a little bit. But he's back on our side, guys, after the whole, that whole Syria thing. So go right ahead, my friend.
I think it's showing his age right now, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm streaming live from London. I'm residing currently in London. Captain Josephine, first and foremost, thank you. I know you have plenty of thank yous from other people as well. So I thank you for the bottom of my heart. I've seen everything that you did. And as I will say that as an ex-flight lieutenant of the Royal Dutch Air Force, I thank you for the bravery and the commitment that you have shown, not just to us, but for the rest of the world. So they could stay awake of what's going on in this world right now. My question is to you, as obviously Donald Trump is going to be inaugurated as presidency, would you, do you have any sort of belief that the American people will rise up all together and actually start a revolution?
I go back and forth about this. I think what I said earlier applies about the conditions. A lot of people in America are struggling to eat, to pay bills. It's very difficult. There's a lot of debt. Like, I have a lot of friends that are, they used to be comfortable middle class, and now they're taking out credit cards to buy food and groceries. And 80 million people voted for Donald Trump because they do genuinely believe he is going to be a savior. And I think it's really important that we all understand that him being the president right now, where the conditions are really collapsing inside of America, is going to wake up that side of the aisle when he doesn't save them. Because even he doesn't have the power to, unfortunately, right now. It's just our empire has fallen too far, and even he cannot keep us afloat anymore. And so the reality is the next year really is going to play out, and the 80 million people that voted for him are going to realize that everything he said that he was going to do, he's not going to do, and he's unable to do. And I think that's going to push us closer to this revolution that you're speaking of.
Yeah, that's one of the big worries. And for real, I kind of see it in his some of the White House cabinet picks that Trump picked, especially the person who's going to be in charge, the Secretary of Treasury. These are people that he would not normally pick because they seem to be against his ideology and against him. So it's like it's not he's not even picking his own administration. In some ways, I feel that. So I see a lot of maneuvers that I don't know, man. We're going to see. They're going to try and stop him hard.
I'm remaining optimistic that, you know, at the very least, he's going to, you know, stop the slaughtering that is happening in Ukraine and Gaza. But for him to be able to, you know, self-correct the trajectory that our country is going down, I just don't see that being a possibility. And that's what it's going to take for the 80 million people that voted for him to realize we don't have a savior. We have to be the savior. Nobody's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. And that's the point of a revolution, basically.
Yeah. I've said it a few times. A lot of people feel it like he's going to really help, but he'll be the Band-Aid. I'm not sure if he's going to be the actual solution, but he could surprise us too. So we will see.
Eric.
We
We're
will see.
bleeding out a little bit too much for a Band-Aid, unfortunately.
Oh, you're damn right. I mean, this is extreme measures almost. I mean, freaking, because we've had Congress is failing us. The presidency has been pretty much almost neutralized in its power. I wouldn't go as far as say completely neutralized, but it's been very diminished in its power. The president's power is not what people expect. And yeah, guys, our bottom two guests are in Gaza. If you wish to donate some, I'll thank you on their behalf.
Yeah, Eric, I think I'll take one more question and then I got to get going.
I understand completely. Thank you and once again, super. Thank you for swinging by. Excellent
I'd love to come again in a maybe more like, you know, I wore my military uniform today because I know, you know, for optics it's really good, but I feel like this vibe, I'd love to come back and maybe a little bit more relaxed.
Actually, I like that you wore your uniform. I think that's awesome. Yes,
we would love
definitely
have you.
Great.
I'd love to come back with my authentic self that is underneath this.
Please do.
Awesome.
Eric is on every single night. Every single night. Yes.
Yeah.
And you are welcome
honestly.
anytime.
My soul to be amongst you guys.
We're so grateful to have you. So for our last guest, it should be the one right below you, Eric, because he's been trying so hard to come up and ask this question. Okay.
Roddy Rob 37, welcome to the show. Go right ahead, buddy. Do a microphone request to you so you can turn your microphone on. There you are. What's up, buddy? Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, nice and clear, my friend.
Okay, perfect. I just want to start by saying, Captain, I salute you and everything you do. I think it's beautiful work. It's courageous work. I served for 8 years in the Marine Corps, and I know what kind of scrutiny comes from standing up for something that you believe in. I don't know what kind of adversarial environment you've had to kind of been living in while you've been, speaking the truth, but I know it can't be comfortable, to say the least. But I just salute you in everything you do. And my question for you is, so I'm a big fan of people like Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. I kind of am more inclined to believe in what the Trump administration has been, campaigning for. But one of my biggest issues that I've been running into is the just, I don't know what you would call it, just the blind belief that some of the people on the Republican side, and I'm more libertarian minded, but I voted Republican this time. I voted Republican last time. I felt like it was the right choice, just my personal opinion. But the main thing that I've been having an issue with that side of the house is their wholehearted just support of this foreign government that we have no business giving our tax dollars to. I believe that we have no business giving our tax dollars to, a nation that has a really troubled track record with their loyalty to us, to say the least. What for the conservative Republican side of the House, like, what would you, for people that are inclined that way, that do support the Palestinian cause and don't think we should be sending our tax dollars to Israel for these pointless wars, what would be your advice to those voters, those members of that constituency? Like,
Well,
how do we help get our elected officials to really just abandon this pointless Zionist cause to colonize the Middle East? Because I mean, that's what it is. That's what they're trying to do. I mean, every war they've been pushing since Iraq, it's just
yeah,
left me disheartened.
yeah, I come from a Republican background, actually. And so, up until October 7th, if someone asked, I probably would say I'm a Republican. Now, after everything that I've come to know, I don't even believe in the party system anymore. But because both sides are the same corrupt, they're the right and left wing of the same corrupt bird. But I will tell you that in conversations that I'm having with, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, honestly, there's a level of brainwashing that exists inside of our society in America that makes people believe that nothing that they can do will make a difference. And so one of the hardest things I think that I've had in having a breakthrough with, Americans, no matter if they're conservative or not, is just encouraging and inspiring them to understand that their voice matters and that their individual voice is powerful, because you have a billion people that will say, well, my voice doesn't count. But when you have a billion people together, obviously it does count. And so I think one of the biggest, the most advice that I can give you is, when you're having conversations with someone who is a conservative, is to meet them where they're at and then pull them in a little bit. So no one's going to be deprogrammed all at once. And so you have to like peel the layers back one layer at a time. And I don't know if you notice in my work, I always try and connect back to the American people. When I went to Congress, I talked about homeless veterans and veterans committing suicide, because that's what Americans can understand. And so when you connect things back to something that they can understand, it's helping you to peel the layers. So, I mean, this isn't, I talked earlier about what happened in North Carolina, and, what happened is what's happening right now in California. This is an opportunity for us to expand on these situations and drill into these people. The reality of what exists is that our country is falling and our government isn't here to save us. It's that part of just telling them that over and over and making them realize that until they wake up, and then also inspiring them and encouraging them to tell them how powerful they are. You see me and you think I'm powerful, but you did 8 years in the military. You should be next to me in Congress. I'm going to be looking for, do you still fit in your uniform? I'm going to be looking for you to come with me next time. It takes, everybody's voice is very powerful. So.
Yeah, no, and thank you for that. I just, again, thank you to Eric for allowing me to come on, and thank you to the moderators for letting me ask my question. I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate
Rody, why don't
everything.
you should message me so I can link you into some of the groups that I'm a part of. The veterans.
Yes, please. I would appreciate that. I will message you.
Yes, for
And
sure.
again, I think, I think Tulsi Gabbard and anybody that's like her is Wonder Woman to me. I'd vote for her 1,000 times. If you
And
ran
Thomas
for anything, I
Massie.
promise you I'd vote for you. I think you got a great head on your shoulders, and as somebody that's not a part of the military anymore, um, to have somebody like you in the service is just it gives me some hope. So thank you again
You
for
give me
everything you
hope
do,
too, Roby.
and I
Thank
will
you.
message you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roddy Rob, thank you so much, my friend. Captain Josephine, I'm very, very glad you swung by. That was an awesome, awesome interview that you great. Anytime you want to swing by
I'd
again,
love
we'd be
to.
happy to have you. So once again, thank you very, very much. And any final words? Appreciate you so much.
Yeah, I want to just like anybody that is actually in this chat or any of your followers that are veterans that want to be more involved in some of the actions that they've seen me be a part of or is interested in doing lobbying and days in Congress, who wants to learn how to have conversations with their leaders, how to put more pressure on their leaders, please reach out to me. You know, I'm always looking to grow this movement. We need thousands and thousands of veterans that are doing what I'm doing right now. So any veterans here, please reach out to me. Everyone else, especially those who are in Gaza right now, just know that I'm praying for you always. I see you every day. I am committed to being a witness of what is going on, and I don't plan on giving up anytime soon. So thank you for having me, Eric, and I look forward to coming back.
Thank you. Everybody, please hit the follow button on our guest. I forgot to announce that during the show. Please hit the follow button on our guest here. Help grow our algorithms together and appreciate you once
Yeah,
again.
I just started. If anybody doesn't know, I actually just created a TikTok last week to be able to do this live. So
This is her first account, guys.
This is my
This
first
account that she
TikTok.
has is like a week old.
A week
So,
old
yeah,
TikTok.
everybody please
So
hit
I
the
only have
follow
like
button on
3
our friend.
things. I only have like
Yes.
3 things there, but I do plan to start using it a
That's
little bit
fine.
more.
It's a good place to repost. All right. Thank you very, very much to Captain. And yeah, that was awesome. Thank you again for swinging by and appreciate you very, very much. I'll send you a text message after the show.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good
God
night.
bless.
God bless you too.